Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Saturday, July 2nd slate of MLB action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do obviously have a pretty good slate of MLB today, and we have been on an absolute insane hot streak. Yes, we did improve our record a little bit, and we will talk about that in just a minute. But as of right now, I did just want to go ahead and address a couple things. First thing is, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. You guys have been showing a ton of love here lately. We are just barely over 400 subscribers away from that 7,000 mark. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. Now, without any further ado, I don't really want to waste a whole lot of time here. I do have to go ahead and get ready for work here in just a minute, so I am just going to kind of do a quick recap as of yesterday. We were literally this close to the freaking sweep yesterday, but unfortunately, we were not able to get it, and we'll talk about that for sure. So, we did end up having the Red Sox and the Cubs over 4.5 in the first 5. This was just about as sweaty as it could be. I saw a couple of people come back to my YouTube video yesterday and comment about it. It was definitely funny, but if you watch that game, the Boston Red Sox took care of business right away. They went and got 4 runs in the first 2 innings, I believe. I think it was 4-0 for the first 2 innings, and then after that, no runs were scored up until the 5th inning. And in the top of the 5th inning, Boston, they did have I think one runner on base, but they didn't get him to score. So then it was up to the Cubs in the bottom of the 5th inning, and they ended up scoring. So thank you. That one was such a sweat, but it ended up working out for us. Then we did have the freaking Cardinals run line in the first 5 versus the Phillies. They were up 3-0 the entire first 5 innings. They were up 5-0, and then all of a sudden the Phillies scored 3 runs in the 5th inning to cover the run line. I was just like, oh man, that was just such a bad beat. Then we did have the Pirates team total under 3 versus the Brewers. I know that the line did end up changing to 2.5 throughout the day, so I do apologize about that. But the game was it wasn't even close. The game was 19-2 at the end of the game. It was absolute blowout. And of course, I took the Brewers money line yesterday. They couldn't have done this yesterday. They had to do this to me today. But that one did end up working out for us. The Pirates only scored 2 runs, so we did end up hitting on that one as well. So 2 in 1 day is pretty good for me. We ended up improving our little run here to 21-9. We have been on an absolute tear, so hopefully we can keep that rolling here. Let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. So our first play of the day, we're going to be taking the Padres run line in the first 5 here versus the Dodgers at -120 odds. Now, this is just because Yu Darvish is on the mound, and I'm not even going to lie to you. This is just there's a stat at the end that just stands out to me, and I will address that. But Yu Darvish is the man in the first 5, and I will get to that stat. But for now, the Padres are 46-33 to the run line in the first 5. The Dodgers are 43-33 to the run line in the first 5. So these teams are very, very close to each other when it comes to the first 5 run line. And I think that this game is just going to be very close in general. With that being said, if it is close in general, it ends up being tied, or the Padres are somehow barely winning in the first 5, we end up winning the bet. So that's all we're really looking for. Both these teams are top 4 in runs allowed per game, so they don't allow a ton of runs. Just in general, once again, I think it's going to be another low-scoring game. The over-under is set to 7.5, so very, very low over-under for these MLB games. And Yu Darvish is going to be on the mound. He is definitely one of their aces. He has a 3.26 ERA, but he's trending in the right direction. In his last 5, he has had a 2.52 ERA with a 0.0 ERA versus the Dodgers through 6 innings pitched. He's been very, very good here versus the Dodgers, and so hopefully he can continue that for us. Tyler Anderson is going to be on the mound for the Dodgers on the flip side of things with a 3.23 ERA, a 3.81 in the last 5, so he is starting to trend in the wrong direction, not by much, but just by a little bit. And versus San Diego, he has had a 3.86 ERA through 4.2 innings pitched. So I think that does say a lot. Darvish has been a really good pitcher here, and Tyler Anderson hasn't been bad either. But I'm just stating that I think that this is going to be a very, very close matchup. So hopefully for the first 5, they can either keep it tied or they can, just be winning by 1. That's all that we really ask. Now, this is the stat that really stands out to me. Darvish in the first 5 innings is the second most profitable pitcher in the entire MLB. He has to the money line in the first 5, because I don't have the spread, so I apologize about that. But to the money line, Darvish is 11, 1, and 2. He has been absolutely fantastic in the first 5. He's actually only recorded 1 loss in the first 5 to the money line, just in general. So hopefully it can end up working out for us. But Darvish, second most profitable pitcher. Both these teams are very, very close to each other, and so hopefully it ends up working out for us. That's our first play of the day. I also don't mind the Nerfy. If you wanted to go ahead and put some on the Nerfy, I just think it's like super juice, so I didn't want to touch that. But that's our first play of the day. Padres run line in the first 5 versus the Dodgers at -120. Now for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking the Braves run line versus the Reds at -115 odds. Now, if you take a look at it, the Braves are actually one of the best teams in the MLB to the run line on the road. They are 24-13 to the run line on the road. So they've been really solid this year to that run line. And the Reds, on the flip side of things, are definitely not there. 13-23 to the run line at home this year. Definitely starting to trend more in the wrong direction. Atlanta is also 9th in runs per game, so a top 10 offense in the entire MLB. Cincinnati is 18th, so they definitely don't score nearly as many runs as Atlanta does, and I think that happens once again. Atlanta is also 11th in runs allowed, so just outside the top 10. Not really too bad, kind of mediocre, but Cincinnati is dead last. They give up the most runs per game in the entire MLB, and that, in combination versus a top 10 offense, sign me up. Also, Spencer Strider is going to be on the mound for Atlanta with a 3.02 ERA, a 2.13 ERA on the road, and a 0.0 ERA versus Cincinnati. Now, he has only pitched 2 innings versus Cincinnati, so it's definitely not a huge sample size, but in those 2 innings that he did have, he has been really good, didn't allow a single run. So hopefully he can continue more of that now that he is going to be getting some more innings. Tyler Mahle is going to be on the mound here for Cincinnati as well. He has definitely not had a great year so far. He has a 4.53 ERA and a 5.13 ERA at home. So definitely not the greatest. Not a great pitcher. Well, not a great pitcher this year. Tied with a top 10 offense and a very good defense as well. I just think that this Braves team has a huge advantage here versus the Reds, so we're going to be riding with the Braves run line -1.5 versus the Reds at -115 odds. So those are my only 2 plays of the day. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.